Hello, third graders. I'm excited to be talking to you today about time again. So today we're going to be converting minutes into hours and minutes into minutes. Now, this is a little bit trickier than converting cents into dollars and dollars into cents like we did during our money unit, our last unit. And the reason that it's a little bit trickier is that there is not 100 minutes in an hour. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So I was thinking to myself, why? Why aren't there 100 minutes in an hour? So I Googled it. I Googled, why are there 60 minutes in an hour? And of course, it has its roots in history. It says the division of the hour into 60 minutes and of the minute into 60 seconds comes from the Babylonians, who used a sexagesimal counting in 60s system for mathematics and astronomy. They derived their number system from the Sumerians, who were using it as early as 3,500 BC or 3,500 BC. Wow, so that's a long time for people to be using 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. So that's why we still use it today. So let's start off by converting hours into minutes. So if we have 3 hours, and we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, there's a pretty simple way to solve that. We would simply do 60 times 3, right? We have 3 groups of 60 minutes. 3 times 0 is 3. 3 times 6, oops, that's wrong. Silly Mrs. Halverson, going too fast. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Or 3 times 60 is 180. So we know that 3 hours is 180 minutes. Now, where we get a little bit trickier is when we have a question like this that says convert 3 hours and 45 minutes into minutes. We would start the same way, right? We need to figure out how many minutes are in 3 hours. We already figured out that is how many minutes? 180. Okay, 180 minutes in 3 hours. But we have this 45 minutes left. Okay, so now we need to take 180 plus 45. Okay, 0 plus 5 is 5. 80 plus 40 is 120. 100 plus 100 is 200. So the answer is 225 minutes. Do you see how knowing 3 hours already helped us? We only had to add 45 more minutes. Okay. Now, here's our last problem here. Now, we don't know how many minutes are in 4 hours yet. So, we will do 60 times 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 6 is 24. So 4 times 60 is 240. So 4 hours is 240 minutes. And then we have to add on 27 minutes because it's 4 hours. Check. But we haven't checked off this 27 minutes yet. So 240 plus 27 is 267 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to give you 3 problems to try on your own. You're just going to convert them into minutes. Okay, so your first problem that you're going to try independently is 5 hours. So 5 hours, I'm going to write the question at the top. How many minutes minutes are in 5 hours. It's going to be your first one. Your second is going to be 5 hours, 15 minutes. And then your third is going to be 7 hours, 23 minutes. All right, scholars, pause your device, solve these 3, and we'll come back together in a few minutes. Good luck. All right, coming back together. I hope that went well for everyone. So 5 hours. We know that 60 minutes is in 1 hour. So we have 5 groups of 60. So 60 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. Or 5 times 60 is 300. So 5 hours is 300 minutes. All right, let's try this next one. 5 hours and 15 minutes. So we can use what we found out up here to help us with this one, right? We already know that 5 hours is 300 minutes. Okay, so we'll check off the 5 hours. But we still have this 15 minutes here. So we need to take the 300 plus 15 equals 315 minutes. So that is our answer. Okay, so 5 hours and 15 minutes is 315 minutes when converted into minutes. Okay, now this one we don't know yet. So we don't know how many minutes are in 7 hours. Okay, but you guys know how to figure that out. 60 times 7. We have 7 groups of 60 minutes, and that's our 7 hours. Okay, so 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 6 is 42. So 7 times 60 is 420. So 7 hours is 420 minutes. Check. Then you're going to add the 23 minutes to get 443 minutes. Okay. I hope that went well for everyone. All right, scholars, coming back for the second part of this lesson. So at first, you guys are probably like, that's pretty simple, Miss Halverson. We can just multiply the hours, the number of hours by 60, and then add on whatever other minutes that we have to add. Well, here's the really tricky part. The really tricky part is taking minutes and converting them into hours and minutes. So, to make it a little less tricky for me, I made myself a little cheat sheet over here. Okay, so I can remember how many minutes are in how many hours. So I wrote the hours here where it says H. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 9 hours. I felt like that was a pretty good start. And then I wrote how many minutes are in those hours. So 60 minutes in 1 hour, 120 minutes in 2 hours, 180 minutes in 3 hours, and so on. I would recommend that you make your own cheat sheet, just like I have, so that you can use it when you're converting minutes into hours and minutes. It's going to make it a lot easier. Okay, so first, we're going to start off with a kind of simple one, okay? 420 minutes. How many times do I think that 60 is going to go into 420? So this is a little bit like our multiplication table. I'm going to see how close that I can get to 120 or 420 without going over. So I look. Oh, awesome. So 420 is exactly 7 hours. So I'm going to say 7 hours, 0 minutes. Okay, now we're getting a little bit trickier, okay, but we're going to use the same strategy. We're going to say, okay, how close can I get to 500 without going over using our cheat sheet? Okay, so 60, 120, 180, 240. Okay, I'm getting closer. Okay, too far, right? Because we went over 500 down here. or 9 hours and 540 minutes. So I know that we're in between 8 and 9 hours because 500 minutes is between 480 minutes and 540 minutes. So I know that it's 8 hours, but I don't know how many minutes, okay? If we're in between 2 hours, you're gonna write the first hour, okay? And then you're gonna find the difference between that number and the number of minutes that you're supposed to be finding. So we know that 8 hours has 480 minutes in it, okay? We're gonna use our math brains. We're gonna say, okay, how many more minutes do we need to get to 500? What we can do to make this a little bit easier on us is use the standard algorithm. So we're gonna find the difference between 500 and 480 by taking 500 and subtracting 480. 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 8, or 100 minus 80 is 20. 400 minus 400 is 0. So the answer is 20 minutes. There's 20 minutes left over. So our answer is 8 hours, 20 minutes. All right, scholars, I'm gonna bring this one back up so we can see it a little bit better. I do remember the question. It said 175 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna go to our cheat sheet and we're gonna see, okay, how many times does 60 go into 175? Okay, so let's see, 60, 120, 180, oh, that's too far. So we have to go back up to 120 and 2 hours, okay? So that tells us that we have 2 hours, okay? Now, we need to find the difference between 175 and 120. So 175 minus 120, 5 minus 0 is 5, 70 minus 20 is 5. 100 minus 100 is 0. So our answer, we have 55 minutes left over, is 2 hours, 55 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 problems to work on your own, and then we will go over them. I'm going to convert 300 minutes, 325 minutes, and we'll do 470 minutes. All right, I'll move out of the way so you can see my cheat sheet if you want to use it. Go ahead, pause your device, and we'll come back together in a minute. Okay, scholars, I know that this is pretty tricky, but I hope that you did okay on your own when you were trying. Let's see. Okay, let's see. How many times does 60 go into 300? Let's see. Let's use our cheat sheet. Okay? 60, 20, 180, 240, 300. Perfect, right on the nose. So we know that 300 minutes is 5 hours. Okay, now this one's a little bit trickier. Okay, let's do it again. Tell me when to stop. Tell me when I've gone too far and we're over 325. Okay, 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 4, oh, we're over here at 360. So we're in between the 5 and the 6. So we know that we have 5 hours, right? Because 5 hours is 300 and 360 is too much. So now we need to find the difference between 325 and 300. 325 minus 300, mental math, 25 minutes. So our answer is 5 hours, 25 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna move this one up. I remember what it says. It's 470 minutes. All right, again, tell me when I've gone too far. 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480, 480. That's over, right? So we're here in between 7 and 8 hours. So we know that our first number is 7 hours, okay? And then we need to find the difference between 420 and 470. Mental math, 50 minutes. So our answer is 7 hours, 50 minutes. Okay, so I know that I went through that pretty quickly and it still might be a little bit tricky for you. If you are having trouble, please reach out to your teacher during office hours to help. Even if you miss my afternoon office hour, you can join me in my morning office hour from 9 to 10 the next day and I can help you out with it, okay? I hope that this helps and I'll see you tomorrow with more work with time. Have a great day.